tayo ng Math-aral. Sa Math, walang maiiwan. Math-sayang Math-aral tayo ng Math-tuto, upang ika'y umasenso. Maging matyaga, maging matalino, halina Math-aral na tayo. Maging matyaga, maging matalino, halina Math-aral na tayo. Halina Math-aral na tayo. Halina Math-aral na tayo. Halina, 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 aral na tayo.
Good day everyone! Welcome to Project SOAR, series of online academic reviews for mathematics. This is Teacher ARIS of Andres Bonifacio Integrated School Senior High School Department, and I will be your discussant for Quarter 4, Week 1 of Statistics and Probability. And I will be discussing to you about t-distribution. Are you ready? Let's go!
Good afternoon once again. Welcome to Project SOAR. This is Statistics and Probability, Quarter 4, Week 1. Our topic for today is all about t-distribution. And we have these competencies. First, illustrates the t-distribution. And the second, identifies percentiles using the t-table. Our objectives for today's activities are: 1. Describe the t-distribution. 2. Illustrate the t-distribution through its properties. And 3. Identifies percentile using the t-table. Let's have first the definition of t-distribution. The t-distribution, also known as student's t-distribution, is a probability distribution that is used to estimate population parameters when the sample size is small and or when the population variance is unknown. So we are going to use this t-distribution when the sample size is small. So alam naman natin kung kailan ang sample size ay sinasabing small, and when the population variance is unknown. This t-distribution was developed and introduced by William C. Gossett in 1908 under the pseudonym Student. So, si William Gossett ay nagtago sa pangalang Student, kaya tinawag na Student's t-distribution. Now let's have the properties of a t-distribution. First, the distribution shares the bell curve of the z but reflects the variability that is inherent with smaller sample sizes. So, ibig sabihin nito, ang t-distribution ay meron ding bell-shaped curve na katulad ng sa z-distribution. Pero yung sa t-distribution, the curve is inherent with smaller sample sizes. Next, the shape of the t-distribution is dependent on the sample size, and so nakadepende sa sample size na meron ang shape ng t-distribution. We all know that t-distribution has a sample size that is less than 30. So, pag masyadong mababa pa sa 30 yung sample size, yung shape ng t-distribution ay mababa din. And on the opposite sides, the left and the right tails, medyo makapal yung kanyang probability doon. Pero kapag yung sample size n is approaching 30, ang shape ng t-distribution ay nagiging katulad na ng shape nung bell shape ng z distribution or ng standard normal distribution. So the standard deviation in a t-distribution is greater than 1, and of course the formula for this is that we have the sample size minus 1 all over sample size minus 3. So n minus 1 all over n minus 3. That is for the variance, I mean. And as the sample size n increases, the shape of the curve approaches the shape of that of standard normal distribution. So ito po yung sinabi ko kanina, na kapag tumataas na yung sample size n, kumbaga lumalapit na siya dun sa 30, kasi yung 30 ang pinakang boundary ng sample size na small at saka ng large sample size. So pag lumalapit na siya sa 30, yung shape ng curve ng isang t-distribution ay nagiging halos katulad na ng shape ng curve ng standard normal distribution. Para po tayo ay malinawan sa comparison ng shape ng curve ng isang standard normal distribution at saka ng t-distribution, ipapakita ko sa inyo ang mga graphs. Okay. So yung una, itong graph na to ay graph ng isang standard normal distribution. So alam naman natin na sa standard normal distribution, yung peak ay of course nandun sa gitna, and andun yung mean, median, and mode, and the curve is symmetrical about the mean. So pag sinabi natin symmetrical, so pag pinold natin yung graph or yung curve dun sa mean na nasa gitna, so yung left side at saka yung right side are identical. And of course, the curve is asymptotic to the horizontal axis. So pag sinabi natin asymptotic, so yung curve ay getting closer and closer to the horizontal line, but it never touches. So wag lang natin masyadong dito sa graph na ito, kasi parang nakikita natin dikit na yung curve dun sa horizontal axis. But in the true meaning of this, it should not be touching the horizontal axis. Okay, the next graph will be a graph of a t-distribution. So makikita natin dito na mas mababa yung graph ng t-distribution, and makikita natin dun sa dalawang dulo sa left and right tail na medyo mas makapal. So that means mas maraming probability ang nandun sa both sides or both tails. And then another graph will be a graph of another t-distribution. So makikita natin lalong mababa, ibig sabihin mas mababa yung sample size, and lalong kumakapal yung left and right tails. And then the fourth one is another graph of a t-distribution. So ibig sabihin ito, kaya lalo siyang mababa, mas lalong mababa yung kanyang sample size. So masyadong spread out. Okay, so yung taas o baba nung curve ng t-distribution ay naaapektuhan nung laki ng sample size. Okay, so pag masyadong mababa yung sample size, mababa din yung curve. Pag mataas naman yung sample size, ibig sabihin kapag yung sample size ay lumalapit na sa 30, tumataas yung curve na parang katulad na ng sa standard normal distribution. Let's have a comparison of t-distribution and the standard normal distribution. So let's have first the t-distribution. Of course, on the right side will be the standard normal distribution. Okay, unahin muna natin yung kanilang similarities, yung pagkakatulad. So sila ay nasa gitna ng Venn diagram. Ibig sabihin, So the t-distribution and the standard normal distribution share these characteristics or properties. So first, it is bell-shaped. So parehas namang bell-shaped yung curve ng t-distribution and then the standard normal distribution. Second, symmetric about the mean. So they are symmetrical about the mean. So pag pinold natin dun sa gitna, kasi yung mean ay nasa gitna. So pag pinold natin yung curve, the left side is reflection of the right side or vice versa. And next, asymptotic on the horizontal axis. So parehas din the curve of t-distribution and the standard normal distribution are both asymptotic on the horizontal axis. And next, the total area under the curve is 1 or 100%. So just like the standard normal distribution, the total area under the curve of a t-distribution is also equal to 1 or 100%. Okay, so yun po ang mga similarities ng t-distribution at saka ng standard normal distribution. Now let's go to their differences. Okay, so in a t-distribution, the standard deviation is greater than 1. But in standard normal distribution, the standard deviation is equal to 1. Okay, so yan po. And next, in a t-distribution, the sample size or the n is less than 30. So less than 30. So kapag ang sample size na ay less than 30, hindi na standard normal distribution ang gagamitin natin, kundi yung t-distribution na. So in a standard normal distribution, the sample size is greater than or equal to 30. Next, the shape varies according to sample size. So ang shape nung curve ng t-distribution ay naaapektuhan ng sample size. Pero sa standard normal distribution, the shape of the curve is determined by the standard deviation. Okay, and then of course, this is an additional for the t-distribution. So since the curve is affected by the sample size, so there are more probabilities in the tail of the curve of a t-distribution. Okay, so yun po. Now let's talk about one of the requirement in finding the value or the t-value of a t-distribution. This is what we called the degree of freedom or DF. Ano ba tong degree of freedom na to? So the degrees of freedom refers to the number of independent observations in a set of data. So when estimating a mean score or a proportion from a single sample, the number of independent observations is equal to the sample size minus 1. So we have DF is equal to N, which is the sample size, minus 1. So paano bang nagkaroon ng minus 1 dyan? So for example, meron tayong 5 numbers or ito yung ating sample observations. So A, B, C, D, and E have a mean of 30. So we have A plus B plus C plus D plus E is equal to 150 because since the mean is 30, we can just multiply 5 times 30 is equal to 150. So pwede tayong mag-assign ng value ng A. Any number, of course, hindi dapat lumagpas ng 50. So, for example, assign tayo ng A as, let's say, 20. Okay? So, 20. So, we are independent to choose 20. Okay? So, next, sa B, pagdating ng B, we are still independent na maglagay tayo ng isang number kahit hindi 20 for B. So we are free to choose any number. So let's say maglagay tayo ng 41. Okay? And then for letter C, independent pa rin tayo. We are free to choose any number for letter C. So let's say we have 39. Okay, let's have 39. And then for letter D, we're still free or independent to choose any number. Of course, kailangan lang pasok pa rin dun sa ating total. So D, pwede pa tayo maglagay halimbawa ng 30. Okay, so let's have 30. But dun sa letter E, since ang total ng 5 ay 150, dun sa letter E, hindi na tayo makakapamili. Ang value ng E is not independent anymore. Ilan na ba yung apat na to? 20 plus 41, so 61 plus 39. So that is 70, 80, 20, 130 na. Okay? So that's all 130 na. Since 150 lang yung total ng 5, ang kulang na lang ay 20. So dun sa E, hindi na tayo we are now not independent to choose a value for E. So definitely yung sa E, automatic 20 na yon. So wala nang ibang value ng E kundi yung 20 lang. Kaya nga sa degree of freedom, laging may -1 kasi yung panghuli or one of the observations will not be independent. So yung apat lang. So the maximum number in a sample that has an independent observation is n-1. So may bawas na isa. Yun po ang kaya nagkaroon ng n-1. Okay, in finding the t-value, we need to have a t-table. So ano ba yung itsura ng t-table? So ito po yung example ng t-table. So hindi lahat ng t-table ay ganito ang itsura. May mga t-table na maraming nakalagay dito sa upper right side, and then may mga t-table na masyadong mahaba, marami ding nakalagay na degree of freedom on the leftmost column. Okay, so ang pinili ko lang na t-table ay yung mas konti lang ang nakalagay kasi hindi naman lahat yun ay nagagamit. Okay, so dito sa leftmost column, okay, dito ay nakalagay ang degree of freedom. So 1 up to 28. Okay, so bakit ang pinili ko 1 to 28 lang? Di ba nga ang t-distribution ay the sample size is n is less than 30. So ano ba ng sample size na less than 30? So of course, it will start with 29. Okay, so pag 29 is the n, degree of freedom is -1, so 28. So hanggang dun lang. And then up to 1 lang. And then on the uppermost row, ando naman yung alpha or yung the area. Okay, dito yung area na ng mga nandito is the area on the right tail. So 0.1, 0.05, 0.025, 0.01, and then 0.005. And then of course, ito yung mga t-value na nandito sa gray part. Yun po. Okay. So, yan po yung mga degree of freedom. And then, ito naman po yung alpha or yung area to the right tail. Okay, so gagamitin natin yan mamaya in finding the t-value of a t-distribution. Now, let's have examples on how to find the t-value from the t-table. Example number 1. Find the t-value corresponding to n is equal to 25 and the alpha or the area is equal to 0.05. So this is the first thing that we're going to do. First, we have to identify the degree of freedom using the formula df is equal to n-1, where n is the sample size. So since the given is 25, df is equal to n minus 1, so that's 25 minus 1. Therefore, the degree of freedom is 24. After that, we will going to locate the t-value on the t-table using the degree of freedom, which is 24, and the area or the alpha, which is 0.05. So we need a t-table. So ito po yung ating t-table. So parang katulad sa z-distribution kung paano natin hanapin yung mga z-scores or yung c-value. Okay, ganun din ang gagawin natin dito sa t-table. So yung degree of freedom, which is 24. So ayan po. And then of course yung 0.05, ito naman po. So yung intersection ng dalawa, yung 1.711, yun po ang kanyang t-value. Okay, so therefore the t-value is 1.711. So madali lang pong hanapin yung t-value. Okay, pakita natin sa graph. Okay, so suppose this is our graph. Of course, nasa gitna yung mean or the population mean, and let's just assume kung nasaan yung 1.711. So ito po siya, andun po. So parang yung 1.711 parang value ng 0, di ba? And then of course yung area na 0.05 to the right ng 1.711. So ito po yung area niya. Okay, ito pong area na to, yung 0.05. Okay. Okay, let's have another example. Find the t-value corresponding to n is equal to 16 and the area or the alpha is equal to 0.01. Okay, again, we are going to identify the degree of freedom using the formula df is equal to n minus 1. So we have 16 minus 1 is equal to 15. So therefore, the degree of freedom for this example is equal to 15. And letter B, locate the t-value in the t-table using the degree of freedom of 15 and 0.01. So again, we have this t-table. So degree of freedom natin is 15. And then of course, yung 0.01 ay nandoon. Okay, so therefore, yung intersection ng dalawa is 2.602. So therefore, the t-value of n is equal to 16 and the area of 0.01 is equal to 2.602. Illustrating that on a graph, we have the t is equal to 2.602. So andyan siya sa part na yan. And then of course, yung area or yung alpha, which is 0.01, ay dun sa part na yon sa right side. So andito siya. Okay, so yun po ang kung saan makikita sa graph yung 2.602. Now let's have the third example. Find the t-value corresponding to n is equals 10 and the alpha or the area is equal to 0.1. So again, we have to find first the degree of freedom. So that is df is equal to n minus 1. So that's 10 minus 1 is equal to 9. So therefore, the degree of freedom is 9. And then again, we are going to locate the t-value in the t-table using the degree of freedom, which is 9, and the given area, which is 0.1. So here is our t-table again. So degree of freedom is 9 and the area is 0.1. So ang kanilang intersection is 1.383. So therefore, the t-value is 1.383. So in the graph, we will have, okay, yung 1.383 is, let's estimate na lang na nandyan siya, 1.383. And then of course, the area, which is 0.1. So using that, ito yung right tail, yun yung area ng 0.1. Okay. So, mas madali na, di ba? Okay. This time, we are going to identify the area to the right of a t given the sample size n and a t value. So, hindi katulad ng first three example, ang hinahanap natin ay t value. Ngayon, ang hahanapin natin yung corresponding area given the sample size n and then the t value. So, first we have to identify the area or the alpha when n is equal to 18 and t is equal to 2.567. So, kailangan mo natin, of course, yung degree of freedom. So, that's df is equal to n minus 1. So, 18 minus 1 is equal to 17. And then, of course, after that, we're going to slide up to the uppermost row where corresponding area is located. So, we will have this t-table. So, yung 17. Ayan. And then slide up. Ayun. So, yung 2.567 is under 0.01. So, therefore, the alpha corresponding or the area corresponding to n equals 18 and t value, which is 2.567, is 0.01. Okay, this time naman, we're going to find the sample size n given the t value and the alpha or the area. So, find the sample size n when the t value is 2.797 and the alpha is 0.005. So, what are we going to do? Identify the degree of freedom that corresponds to the given t value and the alpha. Of course, so t is equal to 2.797 is the intersection of alpha, which is 0.005, and degree of freedom of 24. So the degree of freedom is 24. So just add 1 to the degree of freedom to obtain the sample size n. So tingnan natin sa t-table. So locate muna natin yung hanapin natin yung 2.797 and then yung 0.05. So nandun sa rightmost column. Okay, so 2.797 andun, yon. So ang degree of freedom corresponding to 2.797 is 24. So just add 1 to 24. So therefore the sample size is equal to 25. So ganun lang po kasimple yun. This time, we're going to identify percentiles using the t-table. So, example number 6, find the 95th percentile of the t-distribution with sample size n equal to 15. So, anong unang gagawin natin? Find the area to the right of the 95th percentile. So, how are we going to do that? We all know that the area under the normal curve is 1 or 100%. So, we just have to subtract 95 from 100. So 100% minus 95% is equal to 5%, or converted to decimal, that is 0.05. Then after that, we are going to identify the degree of freedom. So that's again df is equal to n minus 1. So that's 15 minus 1 is equal to 14. Then after that, we are going to locate from the t-table the intersection of df is equal to 14 and the area or the alpha is equal to 0.05. So we have the t-table here. So that's df is 14, and then we have alpha or the area is 0.05. So therefore the 95th percentile is 1.761. So, yan po ang ating 95th percentile of the t-distribution. Maliwanag po? Okay. We're down now to the last example of this presentation. So we still have to identify the percentile using the t-table. So for example number 7, we have to find the 90th percentile of the t-distribution with sample size n equal to 24. So again, what we are going to do first is to find the area to the right of the 90th percentile. So that is 100% minus 90% is equal to 10%, or converted to decimal, that is 0.1. And of course, we have to identify the degree of freedom. So our n is 24, so degree of freedom is equal to 24 minus 1 is equal to 23. So that is our degree of freedom, 23. And then we have to locate from the t-table the intersection of degree of freedom, which is 23, and the alpha, which is 0.1. So we have our t-table. So degree of freedom is 23 and the alpha is 0.1. So the intersection is 1.319. So therefore, the 90th percentile of this t-distribution with n is equal to 24 and is equal to 1.319. So that is the 90th percentile. Okay, so I hope that you learned something from me, and sana makatulong lalong-lalo sa inyong mga estudyante sa paggawa nyo ng research. Baka magamit ninyo. Sana hindi nyo makalimutan. Kung sakali man, pwede kayong pumunta sa YouTube, hanapin nyo yung MTM channel, Project SOAR, at hanapin yung video presentation about t-distribution. Maraming salamat po.